That's what I was working on. I was working on getting the stream up. So many things. I streamed last Thursday session purely on the iPad. I streamed from a very beat up computer, at 11 FPS, the Foundry map, which is very slow, but where the rest of us all have our mic on and you can see all of our faces. And the app Foundry, I mean the iPad app nicely bundled all of them to a decent little view there, and it was kind of neat. So I was like, that's kind of good to know it's possible.
See, Apple has its uses.
No, I
Not very
love
many,
Apple.
but
I
some.
just don't like Windows Bluetooth PC technology for like laptops and stuff. It never works.
Oh yeah,
But
I don't like Windows.
any Bluetooth for the phone, any Bluetooth for your camera or whatever, TV, any other large device, your car will work. But for computers, I can never get Bluetooth to work. Like it's just I think I have too many things going on, and they're just like not listening.
Every time Windows upsets me, I make sure to threaten it that I'll replace them with Linux.
I would never be that desperate, but you'll
I'm
never
getting
catch
there.
me. You'll never catch me in a Linux world, even if that was all there was. I'd make my own. I think I could not. Alrighty. You can see the stream, correct, good sir? Phineas?
Yes, I can see it.
Awesome. Alrighty. With that, we are live. We will begin with where we left off. Reno, you walked across with your dear friend Rascal. Rascal walked over somewhere over here, shoved his arm into the plant, yanked out a scarlet sack, missing a single bulb, handing it over to Sigurd, who weighed it with his hands and found that it had some kind of fluid-like state within. And the one that was missing wasn't like it looks like a clean removal, as if it purposefully had attached it and or was consumed or perhaps not yet developed. That is the curious. Otherwise, the rest of you guys had a minor conflict between combats. I didn't sync over any of the house, so we're gonna say you guys are all doing okay. You're welcome. But you took your own beatings and you stuck around long enough to get a little rested. There are 3 items in which you guys are required to find. In lieu of it, and all the details and everything that you missed, you got to find a square, a triangle, and a circle. Oh my. Just kidding. Gosh, you guys are so quiet. No fun. That's what you have to find now. Square, triangle, and circle until you figure out what it really is. Rascal is actually the only person he knows, and he's not here, so this is perfect. But it was shared, so you guys can all edit it off.
I was trying to get some information from him before we started, and I didn't get nothing.
I remember reading it, but I can't remember the details.
Yeah, it's 3 things. Hold on, let me just pull them real quick. Thankfully, Big G was nice enough to bring it to attention. Well, that's actually the other one, but it's okay. It takes me closer.
Pumpkin salsa.
Is that good? Big G?
Wait, what?
The pumpkin salsa.
It's decent. It's from Trader Joe's, so it's decent. But yeah,
Trader Joe's is pretty decent.
I'm just like being a pumpkin spice girly for now.
The chips are so cute, shaped like leaves.
They're maple leaves.
You guys need to find a gem that represents vision, a scale representing transformation, and a shard of bone representing sacrifice. So far, only a gem has been acquired.
And that gem was acquired. Was that from the orb that was kind of like an eye, or was that something else?
Yeah, that was from such.
Okay.
I want to examine the bulb one more time just to get another explanation.
Okay, go ahead and give me a medicine check at advantage.
Oh, look at them much better rolls from not Avre.
You got advantage though.
Avre can't hurt us here.
Just wait. Just wait.
I know. I'm still rolling with Avre.
Never, Reno, never. We will never make you stronger.
No.
Hold on. Let me do that real quick. We had one instead. Guess not. Second, make another one.
I was gonna say, are we gonna change to 2024?
So this group was the only non-async group that I allowed you to choose, bringing in your character from start. You just had to stick to it.
If I change, my entire character gets blown to pieces.
That's not my fault. That's why I said you guys had a choice. So, Reno chose 2024, but he had to wait for the release of it. So here we are.
I'm pretty sure Twilight is actually completely gone.
Oh, that's crazy. Reno 2020, 24, 2020, 2020, 2024. Bam. Can you verify that one accordingly, Reno?
Looks good. Yep.
Oh, that was easy. Gee, you guys are professionals. I like this. All right.
So Sigurd, if what rooms have you explored? I'm trying to denote which rooms we've been to and which ones we haven't.
I went above us where we are currently to the library.
And did you happen to find anything in there?
I found a weird moving shadow, but kind of left it to go help them wherever they were. I think that was in here. I think I just ran down here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all I've done.
Okay. Big G was following you and Reno for the most part. So Reno, what rooms have you explored?
I don't remember, but I think it's the one with the urns or vases.
Correct.
Urns, you say? Huh.
With
Or
Rascal.
vases.
Yeah. Where you fought
Yep.
the
Yeah, he
Pokemon.
was with Rascal most of the time.
Yep.
They fought a spirit.
Ras-
I guess you could describe it that way. I don't think you actually guys did you guys even tell them that you had a fight? Or you guys just hung out with them and started helping?
I think we did. I think Rascal mentioned that. So we fought like a spirit that came out of one of the vases, and then after that there's a bunch of spiritual stuff flying around.
Well,
and
I
they
mean,
didn't seem to like pay attention to us.
that definitely sounds important, but are any of us? Well, we do got Sigurd. Sigurd, you should know about spirits. How do we appease spirits?
I usually kill them.
You usually kill. Okay.
I mean, you can do what they ask, or you can avoid their areas.
Are spirits something we want to deal with right
I wouldn't.
I
Let's
would.
just get them out of our way.
Alrighty.
Maybe we could check it out. Doesn't hurt, right?
Well,
and then we could just say, nope.
there's a library here with some shadows, so that's very ill boding.
You
But
guys hear
maybe there's
the
some...
Yaun-ti slither by and go, "You all need to help me find these items. I have heard you have the eye. The small one has confirmed that. But we need to blind this, and we need the scale."
Can you point us in the right direction?
I have never been. I am as you are. We have more hands and eyes than one would have been.
So maybe I'm just...
She's like, "There's a bunch of us. Why are we all together?" And then she just takes off to go look.
I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe a couple of us should go and investigate that library, and a couple of us should deal with some of the spirits, or maybe all of us with the spirits at once. What do you think?
I'll go back to the library. I was already interested in that.
I think I will join you in the library. That does sound right up my alley, so I think I will accompany you there.
I think this is the library. I may be wrong. I can't actually find the map
Yeah,
anymore.
no, it was described differently in the Discord to accommodate the scenario. So yes, we'll say the top north left-hand corner was the library, in which you saw many books, in which a single set of books seemed to be dusty compared to all the others.
I'm going to continue my prodding of the spirits or shadows and pull out another book.
As you go to interact yet again, and you put your hand into it, go ahead and give me a sleight of hand. Phineas, give me an arcana.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Big G,
That's not bad.
what do you do in this period of time?
The Big G is following the leaders. He's
Do
not.
you act out as you watch them in any way, or
Nah, he's just. Did Sigurd actually cook the vine for him?
I believe if he attempted to or wished to, he could have.
I could.
That's
I
the
took
last
a
thing
bunch
that
in my
he asked
backpack.
him. Yeah. Okay. So he's just gonna eat like a barbecue.
It's like an asparagus type appropriation.
Yeah,
Then
Phineas
yeah,
is going to keep a tight lock on the ones that he secured so they don't disappear in the Big G's stomach.
Say that one more time.
I said Phineas is going to keep a tight secure on the or a tight lock on the ones he secured so they don't end up in Big G's stomach.
Okay, you got it. What did you roll, sir? I forgot how to pull your rolls.
It's
No, I saw yours. Sorry, I meant Phineas.
I rolled in team chat. It's in
Got you.
It's,
21.
I rolled a 21.
Very nice.
was
Okay.
desperately hoping you missed that roll.
Sigurd goes in to grab it. Phineas, you get this one chance to either watch what happens or to stop him. But whatever he's about to do is about to go against him, and you can pick that much up. But these books are old, they are ancient, and they are dusty. Magical things do not get dusty, which means these are magically dusted, which means they are even more dangerous. He is about to grab it, and you see what looks to be a shadow to Sigurd, the dust itself reach.
I think I would attempt to like stop his hand from reaching the book, but I don't know if I'm fast enough.
Okay, give me a Give me another sleight of hand. Sigurd, give me a acrobatics. This will be testing whether or not Phineas's natural abilities to react to Sigurd and Sigurd's fat fingers do or do not brush against the book. Phineas with an 11 and Sigurd with a 9. He quickly manages to place his hand and slip it right before Sigurd comes into contact with the dust and pushes his hand up. The dust then settles quickly, almost like a miasma reaching the bottom of the floor and then going back to its stillness calm. Immediately, Phineas, you can put together that this is a type of ooze, but a dust one. At least you could assume based off of its behavior thus far.
Sigurd, I've never seen a creature like this, but if I'm not mistaken, that is actually a creature you're reaching for, and not just a book.
Oh yeah? Let's put it to a
Yeah.
test.
Maybe maybe we shouldn't, but what do you have in mind? What do you have in mind?
What's going on
He
here?
casts
Oh,
fairy
fire.
fire. You see him
It
slap his
lights the
hands together
creature.
and spit. And do you do some kind of enchantment? Kind of throw anything out there? We got to give Phineas more because he's just imagining here. So tell us what you're doing, Sigurd. And you need this practice, Sigurd, because your creativity is at like -3. So let's get that boosted to 0.
Yeah, Sigurd's going to clap and then hold his hands out, and greenish blue fire is going to erupt out,
confirms
but it
Big G
doesn't
that
burn
he is.
anything.
Okay.
It's going to wrap itself
Reno,
around
give
every
me
object.
at advantage, Big G at disadvantage because you're so big. And Sigurd technically would not affect him because it's coming based out of him.
It doesn't actually do damage.
No, I know, but
What-
it is affecting your friends too, though.
Oh, yeah.
What do you want me to roll?
What kind of save was that?
Phineas, it's a dex.
Dex.
Reno, it's a dex. If you click your character, Reno, and then click the button, it should roll your save. Big G, you too. Reno's at advantage, sorry. Oh, nice.
Oh, someone.
Not the nat 20.
Wait, who didn't get a nat 20?
I got
Oh,
it.
Big G. Oh, that was Big G's. Bummer. Phineas is on fire right now. Phineas was a 19.
I know.
Reno rolls a 16. Big G rolls a 15. And Eric causes it all. So you see the book highlight. All of them, at least the 4 that have the dust. However, it's hard to tell whether it's the books or the dust itself, as it is quite intergrained. Everyone else around you is glowing. So many items are in this room, and the cluster count is rendering slower as they continue to light up.
The items will be outlined, but the creatures are outlined in light.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I was a joke against rendering because of many objects, and you're in a room with many objects, so there's a lot more rendering now. But go on.
I think
it is a creature, yes.
Phineas would, at this point, take a wide berth from any of the creatures while trying to look for any hidden compartment or something that may be attracting these creatures here.
Okay. How would you go about that? I don't want to decide for you. You want to give me a little more detail on how you go about detecting
I guess
this?
I would check. I guess I would basically check the shelves of the books that aren't dusty. So I would like examine the contents of each shelf while avoiding the dust. And if there's any like hidden or like any deaths or anything, I would check underneath them.
Give me a intelligence check as you guys see Phineas going from shelf to shelf, doing like a survey of this one's moist, this one's smooth, this one's not. Got a 20. This guy's on it. He's really breaking it down. The only thing you notice so far, Phineas, which is maybe impossible to believe, but the shelf in which this dust ooze is a pond is about economics.
Interesting.
Maybe. What did you find, Phineas?
Well, the interesting thing is where all this stuff is settled is in the economy section, while all the other books on like your boogeymans and whatnot, they're pretty clear. But right over in this economic section, it's rather dusty where we know the streets would be.
Economics? Ugh. I hated that subject in school so much.
I know, right? It was like my worst subject ever.
Maybe the fact that it's on those books is trying to deter people by boring them.
Ooh, you think maybe it's one of those things where it's a trap, but it's not really a trap?
It's misleading, at least. Has to.
Does anyone else care to roll an intelligence check to examine the rest of the books in the room to compare this observation of a single individual as four of you stand there?
Sigurd will try.
I'll do that too. Just straight intelligence?
Yes, sir. Unless you were a book writer in your past life and can tell me something very valuable.
What is that?
Wow. You guys are like...
Also look around.
Go for it. This is like a nat 20 for Big G coming up.
Yep, this is where Big G shines.
Big G solos intelligence.
Nope, you guys are all in the same puddle. 6, 7, 4. My God. Phineas, you see these guys all looking around and they're like pointing at tons of books. And maybe they just don't know what economics are? In the sense of books, like everyone knows it's money, but no one can tell you where the economic section or what a book of economics is about at the end of the day if you're rolling a 4, a 7, and a 6.
You are overestimating Big G's intelligence. You have no idea what money is.
Yeah, I'm trying not to insult Reno Star, who should know, but today is drawing a blank.
By this time, it's obvious that that's a creature. So Sigurd's going to attempt to gauge if it's hostile or not.
And how do you wish to gauge hostility in a unknown creature?
I have an idea for that, Sigurd, if you wouldn't mind me trying something.
Sure.
I will take a
Kidding.
gold piece from my pouch and flick it at the economic side.
I was gonna suggest something along the similar line, but I knew you didn't have. I'm gonna share a quick story. Today is gonna be a session where we stop things to go into the background of why things are so invested in the creative sense, because we gotta help Eric become an amazing DM in the future. He has showed interest and inspiration, and I want him to understand where I reached to for some things. There was a group of players, which some of you guys might come in the future of crossing one day. His name is particularly Is right now in the campaign he is in, but he's Wild Dingo in the Discord. This man, when I first met him in a whole nother community in which I kidnapped him from on accident, would carry a bag of flour around on his person everywhere he went. That bag of flour had solved more puzzles, revealed more invisible creatures than spells did, and has hurt more people and done more damage than I have ever seen a punch thrown in a bar. And this man has always been sure to keep a bag of flour on hand. Just as Phineas is using very literal thinking with a coin. Sometimes the most effective methods are really just that. And when I met them halfway through the campaign of Frost Rhyme, Frost Rhymes, right? What is it? I don't remember the name of it. Rhymes of Frost Maiden, I think, is what it is, something like that. Nonetheless,
I think
it's a very
that one yet.
Yeah, it's a very dark, very hardcore module. A lot of people get killed. They went through tons of characters, but I met them halfway through, so I really had no experience on how they started it all. So when this guy was like, I throw a bag of flour at it, I was like, wait, what? Like, it blew my mind. I had to argue where he got this bag of flour, and everyone was like, nah, this dude's had it. Like, he went out of his way, like, in the third session. Like, there's even a note in there that the DM said this guy has a bag of flour. I don't know why. And I learned, let me just put it that way, this dude planned that shit against me. I was like, this dude bought a bag of white flour in a snowy ass map, and it didn't matter, and yet it mattered every way. It had nothing to do with the weather, but in my head, it just didn't make sense, and he made sense of it. So, creativity at its best. Nonetheless, you chuck the coin at it. As you do, is it a magical coin or is it just a coin?
It is just a coin.
I think the DM muted himself.
He's
Everything
swearing.
went quiet.
He's just swearing by himself.
Yeah, he's like, damn it!
Damn it! This mother threw a coin, deactivated my trap.
You threw a coin, and it's
A lottery.
it sticks. Oddly,
It
as you
sticks
see
to what?
little
Sorry.
to the dust, as you see little plumes of dust bunnies float off. One of you guys breathe heavy. Sigurd and Big G both. You see these dust bunnies, and they stick to new books, and thus more are born.
Well, Sigurd, it stole my gold, so I think it's safe to say it is not friendly.
I mean, the gold just got stuck to it, and then you propagated
I
it.
did kind of hand it to him.
I know, that's the joke. Well, I guess we should probably not do that anymore if it's spreading the dust around. Yeah, I'm out of ideas here, Sigurd.
Okay.
And then, by the way, guys, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you guys one more time. I'm dropping a link in the chat. When we said propagate right now, there's this guy I discovered on YouTube that's so freaking good in rapping about plants. But anyways, go ahead.
Sigurd's going to reach out and just straight up poke one with Mage Hand.
Ooh, that's smart.
If it doesn't work, he'll try to crush it with Mage Hand.
I'm just gonna slowly take out my longbow that's I've been keeping in my pack for a while now, since I'm running low on spells, and I'm just like, I feel like we're doing something silly, so I'm just grabbing my bow.
Sigurd will let you guys know, hey, I'm going to poke it with Mage Hand, but you're not going to see it.
All right.
Okay.
Just know
Okay,
that's
kind
what
of.
I'm doing.
I'm gonna
Go ahead.
like notch an arrow and prep it just in case if I see something creature
Yes.
pop out, I'm just gonna shoot it with
As
my
soon
arrow.
as soon as he informs us of that, I will prepare my mate for an attack. If this stuff ooze happens to attack back, I will attack it first.
So the mage hand is going to touch it, or is it going to touch the interact with the coin? How exactly are you using the mage hand with it?
I'm going to poke one of the dust bunnies, and if it responds hostile, he'll try to crush it.
You will poke one of the little ones. Got it. You go and you run into the little dust bunny, and there's force met. Not as it playing thumb war with you, but in the fact that it's tough to move. It seems adhered, though it moves very incrementally. The effort is all the same. It is a ooze attached, and your mage hand can only do up to 10 feet or 10 pounds of lifting, and very minimal in the sense of push.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's 5 pounds.
Okay.
I'm generous then.
After that, Sigurd will pick up the book it's attached to and smash it against the wall.
I'm gonna check something real quick. This matters.
Just real quick, so we're not doing all of this for nothing. You don't have dispel magic, do you, Reno?
Dispel magic. No, I think I left that one in the library.
I have that.
You have
I did
dispel
not.
magic.
Yep.
Yep.
And
all my
we're
spell
messing
uses
with...
are used though.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes a big difference. That's why we
Okay.
need to find a ring. Again,
As
if
it
any of
picks
you
up-
find a ring... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, no, you're good. As it picks up a 1.5 pound book and goes to use its very meager force, which is like a elevator on like one of those door pistons that slow it down from slamming. So imagine an elevator that is left to go unhinged, but always stops with that gasket at the corner on that tight 90, and then it's like so it's like it's like a really, really just depressing vision of watching Sigurd watch his imaginary mage hand hold his book and just kind of like play with one of those little squeaky toys that just except it's not making any noise. You just see it actively kind of spreading, not spreading, not spreading. It's an ooze. You're doing a great job killing it.
Cute.
Yeah, it's more adorable than it is effective.
Oh.
Maybe we should show it.
So the book is in dust, or
No,
there's
there's an ooze on the book that is in the form of dust visually.
okay. And when he
These
chucks,
are small little oozes.
So when he chucked the gold on it, it hit it in a way that broke off 2 more pieces because it is a dust ooze. It is still classified as an ooze, but it is acting in the form of physical dust. Now it attached to the book. Then Sigurd came in to use this mage hand, which is only force. It's not force damage. It's nothing special. It's just force. So physical force hitting another ooze, hitting ooze is like just air pressure, so it doesn't do anything to it. And then he picked
You're just
up
kind
to
of playing
smash
with
it. But because the mage hand doesn't have enough velocity and force behind it to do anything serious, it's just literally playing with it because it's just the ooze has much more density ability than the mage hand does to harm it.
Squishy boy. Sigurd's gonna poke it some more.
So it's an interesting scene.
I do have another idea, but it might make it mad.
I mean, at this point, we're kind of running out of options.
Okay. Sigurd's going to reach into his basket and pull out a flask of very strong alcohol and pour some on it.
Okay. And then you do what? Like you just get it drunk? Is that what you're telling me? Like you're hoping the alcohol stings its eyes? It's an ooze. I mean, I don't know how many times
I
I have
was
to tell you guys
assuming the
what it is.
alcohol would break
I was
it
just
apart.
curious what you hope the oozes with alcohol would do. Okay, that's totally fine.
Well,
Oozes are like acidic-based creatures for the most part. Almost all of them have some kind of acid-like consistency to them, whether it be harmful on contact or not. I would assume alcohol is more in favor of that than not. In my personal
Maybe
opinion.
I
But if
shouldn't
anyone
have.
has any experience otherwise seeing alcohol interact with ooze
No,
in any kind of D&D way, I would totally be in favor of it. But in my
No,
mind, I
you-
have tried to do my best to identify you are playing with ooze. One of
no,
the
you're
most
probably right. This is ooze. It does have, its nucleus, but I'm
I had
probably
no idea
thinking
it was
the same
acidic.
thing. Yeah, I was probably thinking the same thing he was, and it was dust. So you pour water on dust, and it usually washes it away.
No, I thought it would melt it.
Unfortunately,
Oh, you thought it would
actually
melt it.
see it kind of repel it
It's
like
strong
perfect,
alcohol.
like as if it was oiled.
Hmm.
I mean, some
You-
alcohol probably lingers. It probably can, took a lick. I mean, it's an ooze. It probably, it's living, so it probably tasted it to see what you offered. But it seems to repel any kind of expected cigarette effects.
Hey
You guys
guys,
see
do we
him
really care
saute it
about
like
these
he's ready to
creatures?
cook. We got delicious
Do we
indulgent
really
happening.
do we really care about these creatures? Do we want to see if we can, or do we care about the books? Because maybe we could just light them all up since you just
I
gave them
mean,
alcohol.
definitely do not light the books on fire. That is
I
a
considered that, but I
knowledge,
thought it
my
was
friend.
too dangerous.
I mean, the other artifact, it wasn't fragile looking, was it? Was it made out of paper? Would it burn?
We have no way of knowing.
Have
Didn't
we
we already
tried
buy one?
touching the
Sorry.
books?
I guess we could go take it out of Rascal's
Say that
pocket.
again, Big G.
Have you tried touching the books at all?
Sigurd
feel
has
like
come into
yeah.
contact once briefly when walking away, but no one else has actually touched them. Phineas
It-
stopped Sigurd before he touched it.
I have
Big
actually
G.
thrown one book on the floor.
Yeah, and as you turned around to go help them briefly,
Yeah.
like it was very very fast, and you rolled to get out of that. Like I had you roll like 3 times or something like that for it. It was not like I pick up a book and drop it. I definitely challenged you.
Is there like a broom and like a dustpan somewhere?
Sigurd pulls out an apron. Whoa! He sparkles. The Japanese avatar image of him with his big old little pink dimples come up and has a shy look as he finds a broom. What do you do with it?
I try to dust it up.
Immediately scoops up all and every instance of this dust ooze with ease. In fact, the books on economics have never looked cleaner.
Well, if the books are clean at this point, let's examine them.
You stare at them like looking at goats, as if you have not been staring at them this whole time.
I will pull the middle one from the shelf and read it.
Sleight of hand.
There we go. There's my first bad roll.
He fails when he hits the spine of the book to catch it, trying to be cool as he tosses it down and trying to do like a cool little. It falls on the floor and sprawls open. Who looks towards the book when it falls?
Phineas definitely would, but anybody
For
else?
sure. Anyone else?
Yeah, Sigurd would look.
Okay. Big G Reno.
Yeah, same. Same.
Okay. All of you guys can make
Can
wisdom
Big
saves.
G even read?
Doesn't mean he doesn't look.
But what are we reading? What are you?
A book. So Phineas drops the book he's trying to grab and it sprawls open.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
that's
guess
not
you don't-
bad.
It's 17, not bad. 21 for Reno, not bad. Sigurd. Big G.
What was I supposed to roll?
Nice. A wisdom.
Wisdom.
Oh,
What was the DC? No, just kidding.
Right. Yeah, ask the right questions. Come on.
I thought that was what he was asking.
No.
What was I supposed to roll?
No, sorry, I walked away from my computer.
Yeah, tell us all the secrets, DM.
Right? No, there's no secrets. You just don't get hurt. You guys look. It's a book about economics. Man, it's boring. You guys almost got sucked into a boring lesson on how the Lisperians cheated the Marquise out of a defaulted loan at 10%.
Ooh, that was a close one, guys.
As you pick up the book, Phineas, and close it, you realize that perhaps the books themselves are unique enchantments.
Ooh.
Reno, if I do remember correctly, we've used the identify spell before.
I can if I touch them. Is it safe to touch?
I do believe so. I picked this one up, and I mean, I definitely did not drop it.
Okay. Well, it'll take me some time. I'll have to do a ritual spell, so about 10 minutes.
Okay. What are
I
you
think
guys
we
doing
have
for
time.
10 minutes?
If you hand it over here, I'm not getting closer to those books.
No,
As you
I
guys
would
are
hand him the
discussing that across the way, you guys see and hear the "What are you all doing?" You see massive spears coming from the floor between the Yaun-ti and you guys. Obviously, there's a safe passage there, as the Yaun-ti is clearly on the other side. Why are you all just staring at these books? We are looking for scales.
We're reading.
We're having a learning session, don't you
As
know?
you say reading, she just immediately just like drops her shoulders and just over it.
Okay. I'll do identify on the book.
So does everyone stick around in the room for 10 minutes?
No, Sigurd's gonna walk away. He gets bored easily.
Yeah, Phineas is curious about this, but he did hear about the other room that was straight across from the divine room. I don't think that one was searched, so he would go and investigate that one.
As Sigurd and Phineas, or Sigurd, Big G, and sorry, which one, Phineas, were you going to?
The one straight across from R6, I do believe it was. Oh
So
no,
top
it
right?
would have been the one.
Two?
Yeah, the top right.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so you and team all go except Reno because he's so basically everyone says good luck, Reno, and leaves. Perfect, Reno. You are alone. Roll me a D100.
This is exactly where I wanted to be.
If you ask,
He's like, hello, death, my old friend. No. So
It's a lucky
we'll get to
number.
you, Reno. We will get to you. But you
Oh,
are
crap.
casting that in the meantime. The team that ventures off finds the Yaun-ti in the room looking around. She's like, I see you all finally grew a brain, and instead of breaking up, you joined me. Do none of you understand what looking for things means? Multiple eyes in multiple areas. How can one possibly search over the shoulder and say they sound the same?
I mean, we found plenty. I mean, have you found anything of interest?
same.
Of interest or need? I have. Across each and every one of these rooms, there are deep indentations that speak of what will come when they rise. Their anger and frustration will be in turmoil, and they will be confused on what's ally and what's not. Normally, from what I can read, and she points off at the one in the rooms around, in the room that you guys are standing in. Along the ceiling, you see all these hieroglyphics that show different types of Yaun-ti, some in half humanoid form, with the top human, bottom snake, and then others having the bottom human, top snake, and then others being completely both, being able to transform between the two. And then the Ascended, the one with many. You see that it is not just one, it almost looks like a pile of snakes, as if what one would call that of a rat king in other culture. This is called Ascension for the Yaun-tis. Though the name is not given nor clear here in the scripture, she continues to break it down to you all. I understand that when they come to, they will recognize me as safe ally. But all of you will not be. And the snakes in the room will tell them of your existence. and I have not considered or figured out a way of masking your identities to be that of I, for they will surely berserk. And with the amount and quantity of you, I cannot guarantee that I can make it feel safe.
Maybe only one of us should go.
You fool, you do not listen. We are all already here.
Well, that's quite interesting because I think perhaps, if maybe we took a little bit of your essence, I could maybe, with a little bit of time, brew it into a mixture that we could use as perhaps a perfume and make it smell similar to you.
We have time until we die in here of starvation and lack of preserves, or when the snakes get bored of being kind. I have heard rumors of ascensions taking longer than one's approval. If we do not
I'm
find
not.
items and they do not ascend, we are locked here until another arrives to do the same ritual.
I'm not
Okay.
hearing a no. Should I make some snake perfume then? Maybe that would help us.
Snake perfume. A Yaun-ti is
I
not
have,
a snake. You disrespect us with the species at your foot.
that's fair. I was being very rude.
Sigurd is gonna go to the. What's the one we haven't been to? Is it the mirror room?
You're technically in the urn room, and the mirror room, I believe, was technically the bottom left corner. I
Okay.
think.
Wait,
Sounds
did
like
the
I'm
urn
looking at
room
it.
but I think
change?
this was the mirror room. I'm not 100% sure. You were in the urn room, which was this one. I just realized that color is not the best. I don't know why it's yellow.
Sigurd is going to look
were the
around the
ghosts
mirror
still
room.
flying around there? Oh.
You killed the ghosts. I don't know why that wasn't clear at any point. Those
'Cause
ones weren't fighting you guys. You defeated the only bone naga. Then the ghosts were released. The spirits that were broken on the process. But that's it. Like it wasn't like any kind of crazy.
Oh, I thought they were continuing to fly around in that room. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha. Now you guys left
was-
before we covered any further. You guys were like laters. So I was like,
Oh,
all right,
okay.
I'm gonna give you nothing.
Oh, wait, I thought I said we were gonna stick around and watch, and then Rascal was gonna do a short rest there or something.
Yeah, but then that's what I'm saying. They dissipated. Like that's what I'm telling you. I didn't ever say that
Okay.
they were still there at any point in
Gotcha.
the period.
Okay.
I don't think I ever said the word linger, to be honest. But if I did, then I will be 100% corrected. But yeah, I
No
described
worries.
them as the
Okay.
presence. But yeah,
Okay, thank you. Understood now.
but basically, you guys released unfortunately, all of those who were buried or honored to be here. So they moved out. As we enter
Fortunately. Uh-oh.
As we enter the room of mirrors, there are reflections of oneself. You guys see that the two of you, in like size, that Big G covers more in the sense of the pain. It's harder for Big G to see the confusion, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If you ever consider it, if you were a massive person and you walk into a hall of mirrors and you covered the entirety or like 80 or to 90% of a mirror's surface, would you really be lost, or would it just feel like the lights were dimmer? Do you get what I'm going with?
Yeah. So Big G just
Yeah, Big G, it's kind of like you're dumb, so you don't realize what's happening, but that can make it harder for you. But Sigurd, you actually find yourself a little discombobulated.
Whoa, this room is funky.
And it's not even the fact that it's like a hall, it's just the reflections going across in every way. It's not even that it's bright. It just kind of gives off this sense as if each reflection is showing a part of you, but because Big G is so big, it can only show so much of him.
As I remember, there is a large broken mirror in here.
That is correct, in which I believe someone joked about mending, but no one took serious enough to try.
Sigurd is going to touch it and attempt to mend it.
Sigurd, roll me a Constitution saving throw. touch it, and you immediately get the sense that vertigo has fallen upon you. Are you familiar with the symptoms of vertigo?
Yes.
You are now experiencing them. Oddly as you are, give me an insight check. Nice, 15. You look around the mirrors and you realize that this is clearly the case, as there are some above you, showing as if you were above yourself, falling, free falling. You realize that beneath your feet there are some also. Though dirty, the weight of you guys walking around with the dust moving, you're now realizing that this entire room, each and every mosaic tile, broken or not, is a piece of some kind of reflective surface. You're holding yourself strong right now, but it is bad. If you didn't roll decent enough to hold yourself together, it could have got you. But the longer you linger, the more you're going to continue to roll. You are not just magically cured. Unfortunately, vertigo does not go away with such confidences.
While they're exploring that room, have we explored the glass room yet?
Say that again.
Have we explored the glass room yet with all the cups, the tubs,
No.
trinkets,
No.
and research notes?
Nobody yet. The beakers and what have you. The actual. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I don't believe anyone has, unless someone wants to correct me.
No, it doesn't sound familiar.
I think Phineas would head to that room.
You got it. Phineas, go ahead and give me an intelligence check. Big G, go ahead and give me a medicine check to see if you can tell that something's wrong with Sigurd or not. Reno, give me an insight check just to see what your gut tells you about the rest of your party while they're missing. Big G, Sigurd seems wavy. He has a sway to him.
Big G's gonna walk up to Sigurd and says, Sigurd okay?
Yeah, kind of. This room is just making me really woozy.
Well, we can just get out.
I guess, but we need to find those things.
Find what?
The things for the ascension ritual, the scale and the other thing. I forget.
Okay. Big G didn't see any scales in this room.
Reno, your gut tells you that your team is most likely causing problems, but your job was this. Do you give up your task to check on them because your gut tells you that most likely things are wrong? Or do you stay to really figure out what's up with these books? You might be muted or you're thinking really hard.
Hello?
Hello.
I will stay here and do my job and really think hard about these books.
You got it.
I'll trust my teammates.
You got it. Okay. Understood. Noted. As you trust your teammates, Phineas, you step into a room that, as you do, has this odd kind of trill. You imagine in your head, but in the moment as you step in, it's all live. You see the beakers bubbling. You see the electricity that doesn't even exist in this present era already tinging off the metal wires that are going off to the surface of the ceiling area. Giving off odd kind of statics and ideas of possibilities. What would only be described if someone understood the odd word Frankenstein. One could do wonders. For you were created in something what you feel like is home. This odd, torturous, like, demeanor, ripped from pieces and stitched together, and then carefully beautiful to hide the seams. All natural is what they said when you woke up. Just like the others. This is not your home. But God, does it feel good being so close to what would have been an operating room. There is no table and there is no bed that looks comfortable in that way, though the benches and the small little extrusions upon the cabinets that allow these beakers to lie around, and the odd hum finally fades and you realize that you're back in the Yaun-ti temple. Go ahead and give me a... Let me look at your character sheet real quick. Let me do some favors in here. Give me an investigation. I feel like you're a handsy person when it comes to nerding out.
Oh, for sure, for sure. That's a dirty 20.
Well, let's just say your curious problems of having to figure out what to do to disguise oneself might be a little less difficult if you happen to have that along the lines of a polyjuice-like spectrum. Now, you don't know none of the stats. You don't know how long it'll last. You don't know what side effects it might have, but you do know what it does. And anyone who takes it becomes a Yaun-ti, because someone who was here once was not a Yaun-ti trying to ascend.
And we have enough for one of these, basically?
Roll a d4.
Whoa.
You find 4.
Interesting. Looking through any of the research notes that are left behind, does it mention any of the items that we're searching for currently?
It talks about many items. In fact, it talks about the exact 3 specific items used to make this concoction. Basically, what you would find upon these notes is an individual who was a non-Yaun-ti attempting to cheat the ascension to gain the blessings of the Yaun-ti god, to become that of whatever it is they knew or sought to be. However, to do that, they had to take the 3 sacrificial items, not just once, but multiple times. So where this ascension might have once housed the opportunity for many, that in who which had held these experiments has wasted much. There is a good chance that what you are seeking is either no longer available or unfortunately found in another way.
Well, I will definitely pocket the polymorph juice, and I think I would head back to Reno at this point since we left Reno all by himself.
As you arrive to Reno, it's a scene out of Page Master. But instead of it being an exact clip in which you go, I remember that moment. Take a moment if you were someone in the library when that little fucker got in there and all that shit went down, but someone forgot you were there too. And you bared witness to the most magnificent being of a young dude talking to books that were all dressed to their appropriate theme. You come around the corner and you see Reno having an economic conversation with the economics book, and then you see a paper coming out like a scroll and it goes, I'm just a bill. And the next thing you know, you got conjunctions and functions and exploitations, and it all just seems confusing. And then they all
gosh.
see you. Right when you
You
walk
know,
into the room and get caught, everything goes dumb. Fault is like a Toy Story scene, and they all drop to the floor. Reno stands there. Reno, this is the information you pick up. These books are magically capable of consuming the knowledge in which one specialized in. Holding a book of the topic consumes all the topics in which you knew. The idea of ascension was where you go, you don't need it. So you'd leave it behind for those to study. People with
Gotcha.
special abilities that knew how to neutralize this magic read these books and then re-script them into what you would find in your culture of the Yaun-ti, particularly, and or some children's stories, etc., what have you, and your imagination may run to on your education of literature.
Oh, that was weird. These books are funny.
And
So
you
if
see
I
Phineas behind you, shocked like crazy, because I guess, sorry, I apologize for cutting Phineas and you guys off all the time. But Phineas, you had a descriptor on where it left you, where you see Reno kind of shake his head like, wow, that was crazy. But he's not yet aware of your experience with him, yet not fully alongside asynchronously.
So if I could, I think I would sneak up behind Reno and just put my hand on his shoulder, just kind of giving him a little scare, but just enough to keep him in his toes. Hopefully he doesn't strike back from that one. But
Reno, do you cast Fireball on your location?
let me do this really quick.
he's got to check to see if he has it first.
I'm just gonna like, because I still think Phineas is like one of the creepiest creatures there. I'm gonna see his hand and I'm just gonna pass out for a little bit. I'm just gonna faint.
You knock him out. KO. You guys hear off in the distance somewhere, even though it's outside, it's inside like a firecracker. If you guys could only see outside, you'd see Reno's visage appear. Just kidding. He fake faints for a brief moment. Meanwhile, back in the room of mirrors, do the two of you stay?
Sigurd's like right on the edge of leaving the room because it's grossing him out. But he'll turn to Big G and say, "Do you see anything in there?"
Did Big G see any bones?
Big G. Let me look at your character sheet real quick. There has to be something about you that just works sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And did Brasco told us that he already found a gem?
Yes, the
Or-
gem is found. You guys need a scale and a bow.
Okay. There's a
Can you-
room. Okay,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Go for
Oh.
it.
Can you give me survival real quick?
Ooh.
You look and you see the mirror, and then you hear Sigurd. You say no. Would you guys flee at that moment, or would you stand there and have a conversation in the room?
Nah, Big G is tired of this room.
As you step out, you walk out towards Sigurd, Big G, and you think of the mirror, that it's fractured. You don't know why or what you mean by that, but it just pops into your head as you look back for a bone. You're just like, no, just a fractured mirror.
And did Sikar already repaired the mirror or no?
No.
So it's still fractured.
Wait, I didn't?
Did I say you did?
No, I guess I just cast mending. I thought it did.
Oh man. See, rule 307. Because you cast something doesn't mean anything happens. As a DM, if the DM does not say anything happens when a spell is casted, multiple things could be happening. Let's troubleshoot. 1, he ignored you, and that might be something that needs to be addressed. 2, he ignored you on purpose, and that you have to take a risk on addressing. 3, he knows you did it, and he knows you didn't know that you did nothing, and that is what DMs do. 4, he knows you did it and knows you didn't follow up on it, and that I got you a vertical in which you agreed on understanding the effects of, in which you forgot about. 5, the DM has made his point proven. 6, you may push a complaint.
Yeah. Got to start complaining. Yeah. How did it not get it repaired? But anyways, I guess it didn't get repaired.
Vertical kicked in before you touched it.
Oh.
Okay. And so, when you think of a bone, he saw a fractured mirror. What if you think
Sigurd,
that
I will give you an intelligence check to see if you realize an odd speech pattern for Big G.
I guess not.
You're sick. You have a sick mental individual with you at this time.
yeah, Big G is just gonna shrug and then walk out of the room.
You got it. You guys leave it behind.
Bad. Sorry. Actually, let's see. One sec.
Do what?
Yeah. Nope. He did
So
not do
close. I
anything.
saw the
He-
19. I was
I
like,
know. I was
he's
gonna
gonna
make
go
a joke
back. He's
about
gonna
it.
go back. And then I was like,
Yeah, he didn't. He was like, okay, cool.
I saw a Phantom of the Opera moment occurring, and then it just didn't.
I
Failed the
wanted to
fire.
almost have the Einstein genius moment, but he
I
didn't.
know.
Too bad.
Big G and Sigurd just nuked themselves right outside in the hallway. You're just like, nope, we're exhausted. The tank is empty. Meanwhile, I'm so disappointed in the system.
I'm so bad. But yeah.
Cinerino, what are you guys doing as you hear the Yaun-ti re-arrive to your guys' side, and she goes, "Now that you are separated, I feel as if you're impossible to find."
Well, you did tell us not to stay congregated, so I mean, we kind of just took to our own
I didn't
devices.
say stay as quiet as a mouse. Is it impossible to communicate with one another?
Well, do you have any other solutions? Most of us aren't magical. How are we supposed to stay,
Our
you know, on...
voices! As she raises her voice and it echoes, everyone hears it.
That's a good point. Why don't we ever think of the most obvious thing?
She just rolls her eyes in disbelief, like just wow.
But, however, I did happen to find a solution to part of our problem.
She stares at you with raised eyebrows.
Well, at least 4 of us could become snake-like for an indeterminate amount of time. Not,
Do you
not.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
I
go
was
on.
gonna say, not fully, not fully snake, not fully person, but like a one-T like yourself.
You first insults my kind as comparing them to them, the snakes on the ground. And then you mock me further and say that our problem, in which I was concerned for your well-being, not my own, let me make that clear, you've just solved by consuming my kin's ritual artifacts.
Well, I mean, I just so happened to find them. I wasn't the one who consumed anything.
You suggested the simplicity of just using what another man's creations against our ritualistic ways have corrupted. Had I not suggested those on my own, that would make clear that I perhaps was against the very concept. But if you'd risk your hopes and dreams of experiencing what it's like to be the magnificent Yaun-ti, then I would not judge you for your curiosity.
Well, if you have any idea other than drinking a magical potion and how to become a Yaun-ti, I'm listening because I have
Did you just
no
refer
clue.
to us lawn?
A lawn, huh?
No, she caught your mistake. She's like, oh, she's just nitpicking at this point. She just likes to pick at the people who have already faltered.
You know what? I don't think I'm going to get anywhere with you. It seems like no matter what we do, it's not good enough for you.
You're constantly insulting my race and kind as if we are not some kind of sensitive species. Let me just grab your skin's kin and turn into you.
I would be okay with that.
Because that's what you are. Some made-up stuffed puppet of others' creations and ideals instead of your own natural birth creation.
Well, you know what? That is completely unfair and unrelated to the topic on hand.
You just decided to consume my own artifacts of culture to turn into myself so I can see a false visage of my own being before me.
Well, I'm just trying to come up with solutions here. You're only presenting us problems and no solutions. How am I supposed to solve the problem without creating more problems?
Drink it. Let us see if I sense your failures still.
You know what? I think I will, and he'll drink one.
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
At this point, I'm gonna wake up and just like look up at Phineas drinking this potion.
You're over here like,
just
God,
to see what's gonna happen.
Way. Give me a perception.
Oh, that's really good.
Wow. When did Phineas have a +6? Like, what is Phineas like? He's a monster. I'm telling you guys, he's a Frankenstein. I'm calling him out, and you guys are just not around to witness the truth.
I've literally called myself a monster, and nobody just picked up
like,
on it. But
well, that's why I still think you're scary.
Yeah, Reno's scared of you. Reno's like the most normal out of everybody. Reno. Yeah, you're actually the only human, Reno. You see him go through a transformation that basically is like the Little Mermaid, but in reverse. And then Phineas kind of is like, as he loses the sense of balance, as his two appendages below become one, and all of his weight singulars, his back feels like it's being condensed and pressured into a single diamond, and then it's like, it just makes sense. You don't need one. Gravity. How do they face this with the weight of their power above them? I need an athletics check to see if you can lift your newfound muscles. Reno, what is your con for?
No, that's a natural one.
You look like I'll just throw a little picture, like a weird kind of hunched tail up Yaun-ti that doesn't know how to use their slither.
Well, I think I see where all your anger comes from.
They just judge you.
What the hell's going on?
Reno's like freaking out. Meanwhile, Big G and Sigurd find themselves up. And you get him into the hallway in which you hear judgment and other complaining camaraderie. Big G and Sigurd, do you guys care to investigate, or are you guys staying in your area?
We can go to that room of scales. R5, I think.
You guys wish to go to the room of scales, and as you do, from above, piles of rocks just fall upon you. Dex saving throws, disadvantage for Sigurd. Big G, you just hold on.
This is a DM's a DM lesson on how to teach your players how to not complain.
All these traps right here, you guys just never triggered them. I couldn't have just. I'm telling you, look at the stream. You'll see all this invisible random shit just going off in the background on a loop, waiting to go off. Big G just walks through like he don't give two fucks as he umbrellas for Sigurd. Sigurd is going to take much less as this comes crashing down. Big G's like, "Watch out," and Sigurd's like, "Thanks," as he buffers half that damage. So you only take 5.
Do I take 11?
I like that. Yeah, say that again.
Do I take 11 or?
No, you rolled a 21. I'm saying you're so tough and buff that these rocks were meant to crush smaller foe.
Oh.
And so Sigurd takes only 5 because you buffer.
Nice. Big muscle.
And you wanted to go to the room with scales. As you go to the room with scales,
I'm gonna shout, "Hey, Phineas is turning into a Yaun-ti over here. If anybody cares to look at this."
How loud can you shout?
I mean, you guys can all hear anything as long as someone is shouting. It might not be super clear, but you understand that there's something Yaun-ti transforming.
Sounds good. Is that what Phineas want? That's Big G kind of shout back.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, good for Phineas.
Alright, I'm freaking out. Where are you guys? I'm gonna follow you guys.
Come to the room with a lot of scales.
Just gonna scramble away.
You got it. And you run so far away. Reno, give me an Arcana check as you cross the middle room with the well.
Oh man. It's like telling me not to play today.
Yeah, and I don't think my flashy genius would help you there, unfortunately.
You, sir, don't feel shit as you run up to join the group. In the room, there are scales, multiple scales. They all balance different things. Things from dust, things from assumed sand, things from jasmine and other items. All sorts of scales, and every single one of them imbalanced.
Did you come onto one of them and lift it up? Lift like whatever things out from the scale.
The scale falls to the side in which weighs the most. Echoes to the room. You see the rest of the scales waver from the sounds ambiance.
So do we need like a scale in the sense of like a piece of like an animal scale or like a scale?
I don't know. No one deciphered it.
What the fuck?
You guys sent a raccoon to go find all the hints, and then the raccoon told you the hints in very simple verbiage, and then the rest of you guys said, we'll go find them, and no one clarified. Not my fault.
Big G's gonna said, so we found scales.
I think we might be looking for multiple. I mean, if what I heard from you guys shouting in your mind, and if people can do this ritual multiple times, maybe it's an actual scale and not like not this thing. I don't know, like snake scale.
Intelligence check.
While that's going on, I'll just shout out, guys, I can't move. My body is a little too heavy.
All right.
I always assumed it was a snake scale.
Reno, you look around and you notice that there are oddly 12 coins amongst all of the stuff within this room. And each of those 12 coins are not on a scale.
Look, there's 12 coins in this room. Isn't that odd?
So
How many scales are there?
There are plenty of scales and none of them are balanced, yet everything used on the scales have never been any of the coins.
How many scales are in the room?
Over a dozen. It seems as if more scales were brought in to solve what was unbalanceable, whatever that is.
No. What is Big G holding right now?
Is that a trick question? You are holding in your hands air.
Wait,
maybe a broken fingernail.
I picked up.
You picked up something. What did you pick up?
So I said I picked up something from the scale, and you said it.
Oh, from the scale. Oh, I apologize. Got it. My bad. And then when you came in the room, I thought you meant like, what are you picking up? My bad.
No.
Probably like a 3-pound little thing of salt, like a little bundle, neatly sealed or tightened.
Okay. And what's on the other side of the scale?
Nothing.
Wait.
All these scales are imbalanced because a side of them are naturally weighted.
I see.
So if there's multiple scales, should we just pick up one of them, or should we maybe use these coins to see how much it weighs? Maybe all the coins weigh differently.
Before we get to your guys' thoughts, you hear the Yaun-ti in the distance not speaking to you guys. You are just a despicable, inspecable individual. You think that an ascendant would not see one who cannot lift themselves as a foolish individual trying to lie.
Maybe I'm just a bit drunk, Maybe some like an arrow hit me in the spine or something. I don't know. There's many reasons.
An arrow hit you in the spine, and yet you came to ascend with a permanent injury of incapabilities of standing?
Well, would one who is not able to ascend not be one who is able to withstand simple wounds?
You sound just like you are made up. She walks off.
I don't know how to respond to that.
She's such a burn today. I'm sorry. I'm on a good one. I don't mean to be mean to you guys. I'm in a very good mood.
No, you're great. I love this. This is great.
As Reno goes, are any of these valuable? You hear the Yaun-ti. Valuable. One of you go and insult us, and then the other wishes to trade our prize weights. The only thing of value in this room are the coins. Gather them here.
I gather them and bring them.
We have 12. One of these does not weigh like the rest. Each of these scales only allow you to attempt 3 times to figure this out. Though we have many options and many tries, each failure summons a great beam of challenge for all. Lack of balance. Yes, to the large one that has the largest of all of ours. We used big in your head.
Yay, use brain. Okay, so we just gotta find
wasting my hit, and I gotta take another one.
Oh, sorry, Phineas. I said Big G casts Brain, and it's not very effective.
Oh, that was great. Thank you, sir. So, you guys have a 12 coin puzzle. You can use the scales 3 times to solve the puzzle. After 3 times, something goes wrong if you don't answer it. How do you approach it?
Looks kind of like a riddle that we had that one time.
Let me think about this one. I've definitely heard this one before. 1 second, guys.
Reno's over here. Hold on. Let me cheat the system.
So, since Big G would never
you were totally okay to think out of the box as not Big G for this moment.
Yes, so as Sam, I mean, if you tried it 3 times, and on the same scale, and I'll just kill with it whatever that happened, right?
I mean, one of you guys can't stand at all, at least at this time. So you got 3 members who would be fighting.
And we don't even know where Phineas is. He just
theoretically, Sereno does. So does the Yaun-ti.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab a beer real quick while you guys discuss.
Wait, so I can't stand?
No. Yeah, I can't move. I'm trapped under my own weight.
You can't move.
Yeah, he's part snake now.
Oh.
Yeah, wait, you did tell us, right? Did you yell that you are part snake?
Both me and Reno kind of shouted that out. I shouted I couldn't move because I couldn't handle the new weight, and Reno kind of basically said I turned into a different kind of monster.
Okay. Well, I mean, and Big G asked if that's like what Phineas wanted, and you say yes. So, too bad. Um, so if we looked around, there's no way that we can try like, 3 times, or I should say, I mean, theoretically, we can just try on 4 scales each, because there's only one coin that's different. So if we tried it 4 times and each scale we tried it 3 times, right? And there's gonna be one that's different.
Sorry, is there what was the limitations again?
So we can try each scale only 3 times, and something bad will happen. And there's only one coin that's different from these 12 coins, and we need to find that one different coin.
Well, I mean, if we have more than 12 scales, why don't we just put? Well,
Because
if we only know
they
6
all
scales,
weigh differently.
no, it's only one that weighs differently. No.
And then all the scales, the other side all weighs differently.
Well, to find, I mean, I'm not there, but to find the one coin that weighs differently, I kind of like Reno's thinking. Maybe we could take 2
I don't know.
pieces of rope.
What did Reno think? I didn't hear anything. Sorry, I just walked up.
I see. I think of Phineas and I faint. Just kidding.
Huh?
Are all the scales evenly weighted, or
I don't
do
know.
we?
Do you know how to find out?
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, can you tell just by looking at a scale, or do you just hope that they are?
So then I have another question. Does common monetary value in this world, do they come standardized?
Yes. In the sense of this challenge, they do, but one is purposefully not, as declared by the Yaun-ti.
Oh, I meant not these 12 coins, but the money in this world. Like if we have silver on us, silver coins, are they all kind of weighed the same?
Yeah.
Okay. So then if the question is whether or not the scale is valid first, then I'll probably we can use our own money to make sure that it's balanced.
Okay.
So do you guys want to use like 6 scales or something and see if they're all evenly balanced with our own money first?
Oh, I see what you mean. So if we test out each one of them and using the same item, yeah, we don't even need to use the different one. We just use the same item. And if they're equally weighted, then we use those same scale to evaluate, because we can use up 2 chances instead of 3.
Yeah. And then we would know.
Yeah, okay. I'm fine with that. So we just need 12 scales then.
Doesn't every
6
chance
scales.
spawn an enemy though?
No, every 3 times that we didn't answer, every time we try 3 times on the same scale and we didn't answer, something bad happened.
Oh.
Right? DM?
That's how I took it.
Ironically, Big G is correct in literal terms. As long as the same scale is not used 3 times in a row to solve an incorrect problem, you do not trigger the consequence.
Yeah. So all
But
we
Big
need
G
is
wouldn't say that to you guys. But it's okay. It's already meta and out there. That's totally fine. I respect the parsing, so that is totally fine. You guys are aware of this now. Everyone looks at Big G. Whoa.
Oh, what did I
Yeah.
say?
So that's why we should just use 6 scales. So that way you can just weigh out the 12 coins and then we would know. So let's just find 6 scales and then use our own money to make sure they're balanced. I'll take 6 scales and then I'll start or there's nothing on top of the scales right now, right? So I'll just, if not,
Well, technically, every scale but the one that Big G, that Big G grabbed off of, all had something on it.
oh, ha. Oh,
That's why I was saying
man.
we could use the bag of salt to weigh them to see if they're equal.
God, the DM's so smart.
Damn it!
I mean, it's not wrong. It's just, I knew that someone was going to think that way.
I mean, I used up my one chance of meta. I'm gonna be silenced now.
Gosh, you guys were so, and I was like, I'm curious if this is going to be the solution they wanted. But that was great. That was really good. I was like, that was the cheesiest approach possible to solving this out, and I didn't think it was the first go to. So great job, guys. But the DM thought of it.
So I mean, there's a typical one where you just weigh out 6 coins on each side. Then you take the lighter set or the heavier set, whichever one. And then you do 3 and 3. So that's the second trial. Then you would know which of the 3 is off again, and then at that point you kind of just do a one more trial between 2 and 1, or 1 and 1, and then you would know at that point.
Well, I mean, I'm not there, but I think
Assuming like I said, for this case, all of you guys can provide your intelligence to it.
I would think that the key to figuring out this puzzle is to find out which of the gold coins is not the same weight.
Yeah.
That just went right over Phineas's head until now, huh?
Wait, these coins weigh differently?
Only one of them does.
I'm just trolling you guys. Sorry.
Wait, they all weighted differently? Oh.
Don't say you said that aloud. Out of character. Out of character. I think he's getting confused.
Wait, aren't these cool? But they look all the same. What do you mean there's one that's different? Okay, so I'll just take a scale.
Okay.
And then I'll say, okay, let's just put 6 coins on one side and 6 coins on the other side. Then we'll know which batch to pull from.
I do kind of like that idea, and we can use separate scales. We don't have to use the same one most of the time.
So I'm going to take the one scale and put 6 on 6.
And what are you putting as a counterbalance? Oh, you mean 2? You mean across 3, 2, 2, 2.
Yeah, I'm going to put 6 coins on one side and 6 coins on the other side.
Got it. So you're going to do all 12 against each other.
Yep.
Got it. Excuse me. So you use the one then, which was already removed from that was 2. The rest of them all toggle 2. You have 6 scales in front of you, allowing you to use 1 scale left to prove your factor, correct?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
So there's a word you should be saying, and it's not what I like. I'm trolling you. What did you just do?
Put 6 coins on one side of the scale and 6 coins on the other side of that same scale.
Which would result in
an imbalance if one of them is weighted differently.
In which one was said to be, so that would be a checkmate in my book.
I'm not following.
Across 3 scales, one of them, or across 6 scales, one of them falters by a hairline of a fracture, as one side is lower.
I see what he's saying now. So one of the scales is imbalanced itself. So that imbalance.
Oh, that's what he's saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fine.
You guys I'm just totally destroying your guys' brains. You solved it, and you still thought you didn't. I love it.
I.
So you took your same idea, and because I gave you guys more than necessary, instead of making it 3 skills, 4 skills, I said there was enough for you to have double the necessary amount for you to do the same idea with doubling up, solving it immediately. You were going to measure each one by itself, which would have instantly failed. What would you have measured it against? It wouldn't have won the first time anyways, but it would have forced you to try a third time triggering a creature in which you would not have gotten the weight. But this way, I had made the mistake of making enough scales available for you to challenge each one against themselves, which will automatically solve the riddle because only one set would not be in balance.
Okay. Yeah, but
which you had no idea you solved.
yeah, because that was the original way, but then you said there was already stuff on there.
Exactly. So there was, which would have triggered the third, but I didn't consider the fact that there were already enough. So then when you pulled it and said I'm using 6, I was like, now there's, I see what he's still doing. He could still do the same method against itself. Which my point being is that you solved it immediately in one try instead of having to trigger the third. Because think about it this way: 4 of them would have went off, or 6 of them would have went off. 1 would have been right. You would have got 5 creatures still. So I still would have hit you with something. You get what I'm saying? You still would have been wrong on other scales because the rule is the third use on each scale. If the answer is wrong, something goes wrong. So you managed to go off for the second try in a single hole-in-one on accident because you found a loophole still using the same theory and mindset that you had. But there is an actual solution that does not require any of those things.
So the TLDR is what he's saying is we're so smart that we solved this
yes, you
puzzle
solved it on
didn't
accident.
even know it.
Congratulations, guys. You guys see that there is like the coin that weighs the weighs more, I guess would be the proper term at this point. I guess it can go either way, but nonetheless, we won't get to that point. We won't go there. The one that weighs out of sync lifts, bringing itself back to balance. You stare at it for a brief moment and find it odd, and then you see what is almost missed: a very, very thin, literal bookcase, but for a coin. Mimic slide off and fall to the floor and seep through an opening and disappear.
Well, that was weird. Did anybody else see that?
See what?
The coin, it fell down and slipped through the floor.
You realize the coin is still on the scale, now in balance. You all feel a rumble beneath the floor. As it does. Go ahead.
Hey, Yaun-ti, do we know what's going to happen right now?
I have never done this myself. If I knew, I would not have brought you all along. And she's like tensing and stressing out. Phineas, you from your side see miasma rise from the center area, in which begins to pull out, and not in a threatening-like manner, just more like some kind of disturbance has occurred, and which is causing this forceful push. I guess, for lack of a better word, would be. That. Phineas, go ahead and give me another. Your choice. You can do a con save or an athletics.
Ooh, that's actually. Let me see what's better.
And Reno, just to clarify, the way to have solved your puzzle, theoretically, like the most rational way, would have been to not necessarily divide it into 2, but divide it into 3. Because if you weighed 2 and both of them were in sync, you would know that the coin was in the other one, and then you would divide it from a group of less, and you would get more decisive manner immediately. It would result in the exact same thing you did, a one-on-one, but I made the mistake of leaving too many scales available. I really should have done 5 to push the limit, or 6 to at least force the trigger, but it is what it is. So good job on your accident.
Woo!
That's a dirty 23.
You do not know how long you can hold this, but you understand now the very serious complexities of gravity on a spineless body.
So I will basically shout out, guys, I still can't move, but things are going on over this way.
You kind of squiggly squaggly, like on a really bad what are those skateboards that came out that you have to like do that motion.
Oh, Heelys?
That's what you want. That's what you got. That's what he looks like. Phineas is just heeling around. Whee! And it looks rough. It's not comfortable, and it's very brutal to his physical torture because he doesn't understand how Yaun-tis do this in the first place. Slithering is not a forte. That too, waveboard. I feel like a wheelie looks crueler, so a waveboard made him look too cool. So instead, he is looking foolish. As he kind of pokes his head around, you guys see a blue Yaun-ti that has the same crazy eyes as Phineas, with this kind of odd dangling, and then his two armed appendages have this natural excrement like cover to protect his non-scaled body.
Does Phineas
Oh
need?
no, he's coming back.
Does
What was that,
Phineas
Big
need
G?
feet? Or
No, I do not have feet.
do you need a feet? He's trying to make a joke. Do you need a head? Okay, Big G, go
I
up and
think
pick up
I'll
Phineas.
make it there eventually.
Big G, you're one of those guys that are a plumber on the job. Why you do these things you don't know. You touch them and it's just oh yep, that's gonna stink later. Okay, and where do you put them?
I'm just gonna carry him.
You got it. You stick them around and you know this is gonna seep in. Wonderful.
Ew.
You guys
As
ever
you
seen
do that, you do see that the miasma begins to protrude from the center of this massive opening well. And go ahead. Sorry about that. Phineas?
Is it moving towards us as we move through this room?
No, it's just kind of like in a consistent steady. It's like an air conditioner that doesn't go strong enough to fill the room, but you could see its reach.
It's diffusing in the room. Is
There
what
you
they
go.
call that. Yes.
Sure.
Okay. But yes. So basically, as Big G picks me up and snake handles me, I'll just basically become that slug from Rick and Morty, where
It just
Beth and Jerry have their marriage problems to work on. So I'll just basically be that slug around Beth's shoulders, and that's just me with Big G right now.
Mm.
You got it. Okay, the rest of the team, what do you guys do? You guys are still missing a piece. The puzzle is not complete.
We still need bones. As a meta pigeon fly by. Still need a bone. A bone.
Bones. Is there a boneyard hut? Oh. Is there a room with bones? Did anybody see any bones? Or do we bone?
Well, I have no bones. Did my bones come out anywhere?
Hey, Yaun-ti, did you find any bones in any of the rooms?
It's I don't know how many times I'd have to. Once. 1 second. Let me pull out. Of course. She pulls out like a little pamphlet, and on the outside of it, as she pops it out, it's like an entire, like one of those big theme park maps. Welcome to the Yaun-ti Puzzle Temple, where all the answers are inside this pamphlet. If you just read it and present it to your players exactly as read, they will never be confused. Let me see what it says when you get stuck. Right here.
Can I see that?
All of these items are metaphorically possessed within puzzles they must unlock, and then the literal physical thing will come into existence. An example as such, balance. Right, in which they solved. Okay, he did it wrong. Okay, I will let whoever wrote this. Who wrote this, anyways? Okay, we'll get to that later. I don't know. It does not say where the item is. It says that they must solve this puzzle. And you also saw a room with me in which one of you got sickened, so perhaps don't send the pig.
All right. Which room did you guys get sick in?
It's the
Transfer
room.
Avros to Sigurd.
Yeah, it's a room with a bunch of mirrors.
Mirror
Okay,
room, you
well, let's
say?
go there.
I am curious to see what I look like in my new form, and I'll just kind of wriggle around a little bit.
I puke on the side.
a quick little catch bag and then disposed.
Actually, Big G is gonna use the vine to like tie up Phineas. 'Cause he can kind of
You got
getting
that?
gross
Yeah.
now, yeah, no. So
Okay,
he's
okay,
gonna tie him up and then just drag him.
I'm gonna cast Minor Illusion to cover up my vomit.
You got it. It's kind of like a swoop. What was that? Just powdering my nose. You know, it's just like coming around the corner. Ah, man. So, what do you guys do? Go to the mirrors? Is that what you're saying? Is that what's happening? Is that the official?
Yeah, I think
Yep.
that's what we're doing, is heading to the mirror.
You guys head as a team to the mirrors. As you arrive, you see all of yourselves and many more, and that's how it is gonna be. But when Big G is present, those who are next, in front, and or behind see only themselves.
Nice.
So am I like floating in the air?
I mean, you're not floating because you are physically adhered to him via vinage, but if you feel like you're floating, then by all means, since you do not have legs to dangle and you are more of a single noodle appendage.
Fair enough.
Everyone's imagining that. I don't know. Like, was I not clear? Was it too complicated? I feel like now, because you keep bringing it up, you should do a athletics check to see if you are able to stiffen yourself in a way of actually directing people to where you speak, or if you're like plank being held by somebody and however they can hold you, and if your face is holding onto their ass, then you're speaking to their ass.
Yeah, no, I'm totally playing.
Well, we'll see. Oh yeah, 5. Yeah, you're planking. Yeah, you're totally planking. Big G just has them, and wherever he is, he is. You guys just hear a mop, 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 and it's very clear. I'm just doing that because I don't know what he's saying at the time of saying. But you guys hear him, and he just kind of. It's always like a but you get it.
Interesting.
Uh,
Don't
go ahead.
go in there, cause Cigar gets sick in the room.
Sigurd, you got sick? How did you get sick?
There's just a lot of mirrors in there. I think I'll stay in the hallway.
Big
Okay.
G, face me towards one of these mirrors. Maybe I can't get a better look at one of them and see up there. It's not something to them.
So currently, wait. So you're saying that Phineas is okay?
He's a Yaun-ti that you wrapped up in vines, and he does not know how to control his physical nature yet because he took a polyjuice. So it's not like he transformed himself into it magically. He literally drank something that has forced his body into a unknown scenario. So
Yeah,
he's
it's
like
like
the Little Mermaid trying to figure out how to not walk while you're manhandling them like a noodle because they're Yaun-ti at the end of the day. They got 2 arms and a noodle. That's it.
yeah, yeah. So he's gonna like kind of sling around, kind of like a it was like a
Like a
momentum.
satchel. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
kind of like sling it forward so
Uh-huh.
that he
He's like
can.
on your shoulder looking out, kind of like a wrap,
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
C wrap.
More like because I'm imagining Phineas kind of like being dragged a little bit. I don't know
Okay.
how
His
tall he
body
is.
length. Oh yeah, how
Yeah.
tall are you naturally, Phineas? I guess that's a very good argument.
I mean, I guess naturally I'm 7 feet tall, so I'm
Holy
pretty
shit,
tall.
then yeah, okay. Yeah, his ass is dragging. He's like along your side with his head kind of like oddly appendaged, jointed to where you're. It's like uncomfortable for you to move your armpit sometimes, depending on where his flare from where his where the cobra pop would be for the fan, and he's dragging probably waist down easily, but it's not harming him in any way. It's odd because the secretion protects him, and he finds it super unnervingly comfortable.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. So it's just like kind of slinging it forward, I guess. So like, because he couldn't really naturally do it. Yeah, so it's like dragging like a long tube, I guess. So he kind of
It's like you having a pool noodle. So this is you because
Yeah.
you're big and buff, right? And
Yeah.
then we got the Yaun-ti with this flare out here, and then he's just kind of dangling around here, and then he just goes backwards, right? So this
Yeah.
like
So
rubber,
yeah, he's kind of like
and
a
then it's just like there.
tornado. So he's gonna like swing him
Gotcha.
forward. Yeah, and
Okay.
so his face relatively in the forward direction.
Gotcha. You're using him almost like a lantern light with a bullseye view. You're just kind of
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah,
assisting him as he fails the neck muscle.
yeah.
Gotcha. You guys all see the mirrors. But Big G being holding Phineas means Phineas will not be able to go in on his own. So who does go in to get this bone?
Is it scary? Should I just try it myself? Big G,
Maybe.
will you grab me if I go a little crazy?
Um, okay. So Big G's gonna tie another vine
Okay.
around Reno's waist and
Give me a sleight of hand. See how
lower.
taut that is.
Hey Sigurd, can you not just use your mage hand to grab the belt?
You feel confident.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, I am certified.
Yeah, for
firefighter.
sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Phineas'
um,
secretion just works like butter and the rope or the vine.
actually, let me try something else. Can I? Well, I know Martin's in here somewhere, but can I summon him to me?
Appears.
Martin, can you go fetch the bone?
You send them in. You lose tether. The spell is disbanded.
Oh, well, that'll be an awkward conversation for later. Okay, I'll go in. You got me right, Big G?
Yeah, of course.
All right. I'll believe you too, so I'm not even gonna double check it for fun.
You go in. Give me a wisdom saving throw as immediately you see a dozen or more of you.
It's a dozen or more of me.
With you, that's 13. God, you were so good at math.
Is he within 30 feet of me?
I mean, sure, theoretical.
I will use my last flash of genius and give him the +3 for that. So he'll have a 16.
You fix your math calculations. There's only one of me. Only one of me. These mirrors are here to trick me. I need to find the one with. What are you even doing? Why did you come in here? What did they tell you to do?
Sorry. Wow. My team. Uh, I'm looking for a bone. Throw me a bone.
Let's see. The DM attempts to throw a bone. It was 80% accurate. You are looking for a mirror that is broken, cracked, or fractured, whichever you take as that term.
Okay, I search for the mirror. I'll continue to walk through.
You can choose to either do a insight by choosing to trust your gut over what you see, a perception choosing your eyes over your gut, or a wisdom choosing your mind over both.
Okay, I'll use insight. Oh man.
R.I.P. Reno. 2024.
Yeah. Yeah. He put
I'll
that
be
in his
stuck here
name,
till
so he knew
2025.
he'd never get there. You know. Um, uh, everyone outside of the mirrors. None of you have a watch, but you guys can all give me perception checks to see if you can tell how much time has passed.
Nope, that's
Ouch.
another natural one.
Gosh, and you guys are blaming, like, everyone's failing everywhere. So do you guys? I mean, it's just the dice gods.
Oh, no, wait, hold on.
We got a Sigurd. But Sigurd got sick. He got vertigo last time. 24 ain't gonna change the fact that he's not gonna go in.
Yeah, oopsie.
Let's see. Phineas, no clue. Big G, no clue. Both of you guys got 7. I want to see if I get a third 7, just to see. The Yaun-ti is gonna roll. What did I have you guys roll perception? Oh, it's a +10, so it's physically impossible. But if they roll a raw 7, it counts. No. The Yaun-ti's like, this is clearly he's not going to get it alone. I doubt it. He's been in there way too long. At least 5 minutes have passed, which, to be fair, these rooms aren't massive, but when you walk into mirrors, anything changes. Perception is warped, and Sigurd got sick, so who knows? As she goes on, Sigurd, even you two realize that they've been in there much longer than you would have lasted.
Big Tree's gonna pull on a vine, and lo and behold, it's lovely colors. Yeah. He's like, I think Reno is scared.
Reno, wait. Reno, give me a perception check. See if he notices. He could chase it.
Yeah.
He threw me a bone, not literally, but a way out at least. As the vine gets tugged, you feel this weird kind of it's like, at first it's like an embrace, like someone was trying to grab you by the waist and like bring you in, and then it's like just dropped, and you were just like, that didn't feel tuggish like Big G would have yanked you off your feet in your mind, and you're like, and then you look back and you see it running and are fleeing from you, and you're just like, what? And you chase it all the way back out. Big G, immediately you're like, oh, as you see the vine and no Reno appear, and then Reno pops up within seconds after.
Big G
Oh,
thinks,
that was dangerous.
yeah, the vine was not tied in.
Well, one thing we haven't tried is randomness. Big G, just give me one big toss and see where I land. See if we can't find anything.
Okay, well, Big G's gonna just throw him in. Yep, he asked for it.
Give me a strength check. I'm just curious. Just check his ass.
I have no way of catching myself. Oh, with strength, doesn't Big G
Wow.
have it? Doesn't Big
You
G
go,
have
okay.
advantage, or isn't that with only
No,
range?
absolutely not. He just chucks you. He chucks you. As he chucks you, you hit a mirror straight up. Landing right in front of the team, not even inside the room yet. Just hitting the first panel available. Just straight up. Bam, and
Love it.
bam. You muster enough at this point to be able to walk, but going in and feeling this, you tell me. You continue your unfortunate possible fate. You know that mirror is for sure not going to be against you because it's full of your slime.
Okay.
Big G does apply 14 points of bludgeoning damage as you go
Ooh.
and smash into that mirror.
Ooh. Alrighty. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, I guess I would kind of very, very slowly recover from that, because that was a hefty hit from Big G against a mirror. But I would attempt to try and see if I can't find something.
You take a wisdom save as you go on into the mirrors. I really thought the coin one was going to be the hardest problem for you guys. And I was like, one scale's too difficult. I'll just make a room full of scales, and then it's going to overwhelm them. And then I was like, someone's going to be cheesy and use all the scales. So I'm going to put something on all of them so it automatically counts as one use. And then Reno figured it out. And here it is, a maze in which you guys know the actual answer to, but are skillless until Phineas arrives. You whiz through. Zoom, 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 zoom. Why? Because you have a mucus trail. God, life is so easy when there's breadcrumbs behind you. However, you have yet to find it. Give me a perception check as you look around and try to identify where would you find a broken mirror when everything you see is a reflection of you.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not bad, but not great.
Well, you look at your trail, you see that it cannot possibly be any mirror in which you backtracked, or you could backtrack now and know if you forward track, it could not be any mirror previous and prior to where you would continue. Which option do you choose?
I think Phineas is always unsure of himself, so he would backtrack.
All right. As you do, go ahead and give me an investigation check. And you do find the entrance because it does. Obviously, you've been leaving an excretion trail. You can poke your head out and let them know that you're working on it, or you could tell them what you've discovered. Maybe they can help you because you're a dumbass and you were looking around, but you were looking more at your trail to find your way back than you were focusing on how many mirrors might have been cracked.
So yeah, I think basically what I would do is I'd poke my head out and be like, "Well, we're not gonna get lost, but we're probably gonna get lost searching for the item."
You guys see Phineas reappears unharmed compared to the rest of you so far.
What is Phineas looking for again?
For a
I don't
bone
even know.
or a broken shard of a mirror or something.
Why don't Phineas just break a mirror?
You know, I don't think that's technically how this works, but we haven't tried it yet, so why don't you try it, Pinky? I don't think I'm breaking anything in this state.
He shows you his Yaun-ti form.
Yeah, Big G's gonna go up to the edge of it and then using his longest arm possible and smack on one of the mirror.
Big G walks up and puts both arms out. Like a field goal referee is about to put his arms up for a score, but really what's happening is he's measuring them. Give me an intelligence check as you look with your eyes and try to decide which arm is longer. You said it. I'm just saying.
Nope.
Big G stands there for a real long time trying to figure out which arm is longer, and he doesn't say a thing. He is determined. Does anyone else do anything and question what Big G is doing?
I'll ask him, hey, what are you doing?
Big G is trying to smash a mirror.
With
Well,
your
just
arm. To be clear.
No, I was using my great sword.
Oh, you meant with long arm. You're 15.
Yeah.
Ah, I was trying to throw in the funnies.
No,
Okay, that's fine.
but
Big
no,
G
yeah,
smashes.
I mean,
He shatters a mirror, and lo and behold, bones fall out of it. All of you guys,
whoa, what the heck?
just for figure outies, give me investigation or intelligence or any role you want, and I will justify it. Just whatever you think is your power roll, because you guys are just killing me. I want to give information.
Oh my gosh.
I can't help you guys. I really can't. God, okay, 12 is something.
And that ends Monday session. 2 weeks later.
Sigurd just clenches his like chest in a way that like is like, God, tell me the truth. How fucked are we? And you know bad things are coming. Otherwise, Sigurd, you understand that the bones in which riddle out of the now broken glass mirror before you are adventurers who have been caught in here before.
Oof.
delicious.
Luckily, I didn't get caught in there. That would
Yaun-ti
have
goes,
sucked.
finally! We have all three pieces, and we must now bind them together and toss them into the well.
Okie dokie. What's gonna happen? Do you know? Any
The
clues?
ascendant shall rise to see who has offered them, and will judge their brethrens.
It's
And
Okay,
looks
so
around and sees that only Finney. Yeah, Phineas is. He was right there at the entrance. Says you broke the mirror. You broke the mirror that he was like behind, basically. Phineas and the Yaun-ti are the only Yaun-tis in the room, as the three of you guys do not look, sound, smell, or act as any Yaun-ti is when she says brethren.
Phineas would kind of shuffle forward his pack.
Oh,
Kind of
Phineas! You shuffle and everything melts to your body. God damn it!
okay. No,
That's
you're
what
right.
it says in the spell. Polymorph. Everything on your person melts to you.
Yup. Nope. That is. You're right. Anything worn or carried.
You have it in you. Their solution.
Well, guys, I think I definitely have a solution, but the problem is I don't know how long our solution lasts.
What are we doing?
God, I'm such a good DM sometimes. I love that you guys have successfully triggered all of my gabs in this. I love it. Phineas, do you want to plainly speak and explain the scenario that just occurred in case someone missed it? You were alone at the time, so theoretically, with Reno's provision.
So theoretically, I picked up 4 polymorph potions, and the problem with polymorph is that when you polymorph, all of your belongings and gear kind of morph into your body, becoming one new body. And so the other 3 polymorph potions that I picked up are currently technically inside of my being at this point.
Sure.
So I have the solution for 3 more of us to become a Yaun-ti, but I don't have access to them because they are currently inside of me.
Reno, sorry.
I'm just trying to keep it down.
Sigurd, I feel like you've been quiet for a while. Your vertigo has recovered. Where does your mind settle on the problem?
Oh, his headphone died.
Oh no, his headphone died. But that doesn't mean he can't speak to us with his phone, no? Like he can like just lower it and talk to us and then put it to his ear. I don't know. Walkie-talkie.
Maybe the goldfish
Sigurd,
got
coming in.
to him.
I'm calling out to you all. You know? I don't know.
Sigurd just or Eric just kind of sick and tired of speaking.
I'm gonna go cast.
Keep scaring me. Oh, I would say we just do the ritual. Okay. Okay.
I'm just
What
gonna.
were you saying, Reno? Before I
Does disguise self allow me to change into a Yaun-ti?
Disguise self allows you to disguise yourself into anything in which you can describe. I think you could just make yourself look like anything you want. So you can be a Yaun-ti if you want to be a Yaun-ti.
He would look like one, but he would not smell like one, if that makes a difference.
Well, it's better than the alternative, and I kind of like puke to the side again.
So why exactly do we need to turn into a Yaun-ti?
Because
I think it's so that we're not attacked.
Yeah, so the basically so the guardians of this temple don't ravage us instead of the enemy.
Gotcha. Okay. But even if Phineas turn back, he will get attacked.
That is very true, but do we need all of us there while the ritual is being complete?
Yeah, don't we just need one?
It definitely should not be me because I'm pretty fucked up. I can't even walk as a Yaun-ti. But I don't have any other solutions for our current predicament. So we're kind of in a catch-22 at this moment.
Yeah, and we also have Rascal around.
What happened to our raccoon friend?
What happened to Rascal? Oh well, technically Rascal, when players are absent in scenarios in which can cost a player's accidental life, I absent them out. If it was somebody who can provide you a benefit on a passive gain that they always have triggered or playstyle wise, I honor it. But I do not believe Rascal ever does anything or favors anything that has always benefited the team. But correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't think so.
He's very passive for the most part, and usually he's on his own. To be fair,
Okay.
And usually he's in the brink of danger on his own.
yeah. But for instance, an example, with other teams, if you have like an aura that's active and you're normally around two players that are commonly there and you're just absent today, those two players would usually have that boost. And if someone is around those two players, they would also benefit from it. That kind of thing is how I usually rule it. I just respect what they would have at the minimum. And at the minimum, Rascal would not have helped, to be fair. He would have been like, fuck that. That's dangerous. I'm going this way.
No, that does sound like something Rascal would do.
But moving forward, you guys summon it, don't summon it, stick around and discuss it. If you want,
Maybe
go ahead.
maybe we should wait until this polymorph potion wears off, and we can pick the three. Definitely not me, because I can't control the snake body. But maybe we wait until this one wears off, and then we do the ritual when I have access to those other three potions.
Or we'll just fight our way out.
I can do the polymorph juice, but somebody else is getting it. I'm not getting that.
Okay.
Well, I was definitely thinking Big G, because Big G's are muscle.
But the one that gets the polymorph
Whoops.
juice.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Is not gonna get attacked, right?
That's correct, but we don't need the ones who aren't drinking polymorph juice to be in the ritual circle. I don't think.
Okay, well, I'll hide somewhere.
Now, what we could do, if you guys wanted, because obviously we're down one, but you guys aren't down forever. If you guys go into combat right now, you can, or you guys can dedicate your next session going into it with a proper plan. At this time, if you guys were to go into a combat scenario, which is very likely because you guys are not disguised or identified as Yaun-ti, it will be aggressive. It was made very clear. Really, no one's at advantage, no one's at disadvantage, but Sigurd. Phineas is safe until the unpronounced polyjuice potion ends. Did you guys want to hold? Because you guys would only have maybe 30 minutes technically, break it down between your guys' time, 6 minutes each, to do what you want against the potential threat that could come from your summoning of the Ascension Ritual and end it midway? Or do you guys want to discuss some plans, etc., and consider in your own mental space before the big moment? You decide. But what's coming next will be a contestation. That's not even a word, but it is today.
Wait, can you clarify it real quick? Because I think my brain's not working right now. So whoever that drank the potion and then participate in the ritual is going to get into a fight.
Everybody could get into a fight potentially.
So the moment the ritual begins, the ascended will rise, but they will be in a rage of emotion, in which a recognized face is encouraged to be present, which is why this Yaun-ti is here. It was this Yaun-ti's task to get here, however means necessary, in which they had found you by chance, on accident, really, in which then benefited them to get far enough. They technically had a bigger brain than many of you, but you all brute force through it through luck and chance. She made it very clear that it will look at them as kin. It will not harm her. She will be there to help soothe their emotional state. But with all the natural snakes here, it will be impossible for them not to know of your guys' existence. They will know non-pure Yaun-ti are present, in which it will be aggressive too. So it will be, it'll look through it's really impossible for you guys to hide. So it's just more of a, how do you go about disguising it? I provided you many more opportunities to avoid this problem, in which you guys have self cut off temporarily said options. Because the same person who could have actually disguised you guys without those is the same person who is in a state in which they cannot do such now. But go ahead. What about Sigurd?
Oh, no, I was just wondering who could help us out here.
Oh, it was Phineas.
Phineas.
Yeah, it was Phineas in both ways, and he just kind of like nipped his own. He nipped his own bud.
Yeah, no, I got into a starting match with the Yaun-ti, and
he got baited.
It didn't end well.
I kind of figured. Okay. So, I mean, if we're about to get into a fight, so there's no way to retrieve the potions, right? Because it's part of him.
Yeah, dispel magic. We could
but
wait.
Then you wouldn't have any polymorph juice though. So
one person wouldn't.
So we'd be in a fight regardless then.
Well, that's a lot better than all three of us being attacked at the same time. We could at least maybe come up with a plan to. It's a tough situation one way or another, but I don't know.
Everyone roll a D100. $62, 54, 44, 81. I'll call that an average. 1 sec. Let me check something. Let me verify something before I lie to you guys. Yeah, that's 1. Okay. Okay. 2. That's 3. That's 4. That's out. Never mind. Hold on. Could be 3. Hold on. Oh. Hold on. Oof, man. Some of you guys are taxed. I mean, creatively, that's possible too. Oh, that's a really good one. Oh, I'm getting too far. I'm getting ahead of myself. Hold on. Who rolled the 81? Big G. God damn it. Why is it always the dumb player?
What?
Nothing against you. It's just like I'm just gonna send you a message and then I'll let Big G give you guys the best possible breakdown of what it is I understand.
I'll try to use Big G intelligence to explain.
But you guys can game plan in the meantime, or try to figure out what I see. Like I know I've been, I see all your sheets. You guys could do the same. But I mean, there's more out there. Creativity is key. Not just creativity. It's not out of the box thinking. I'm just looking at what you guys have available. Some of you guys are heavily taxed, but sometimes one shot is key to winning everything. So
we can also just go around and kick out all the snakes into the well or something.
And there were many suggestions for that. No one ever asked what the HP pool of that is. Many of you guys can cast sleep. I'm just putting that one out there because Big G said something right on my mindset that I was typing right now. Anyways, keep going. I'm just like, there's a whole map. There's a lot to interact with.
There are things that we can do, things that we can prevent, things that we can trigger. Maybe we can trigger all the scale monsters.
If I don't have all my notes, but if I do remember something, it was about being watched. So maybe if we could, so maybe those snakes are key. Those snakes are watching us. So maybe we could take them out.
Yeah. And also, there was a room that Rascal found that have Yaun-ti clothing that have the smell of the Yaun-ti.
Mm.
Yeah.
It wouldn't help you looking like one, but it would definitely. We could definitely get Reno because he's got disguise spell, so that would help with Reno to smell and look like a Yaun-ti.
Yeah, that sounds good. Was this on a dead body?
I mean, more than likely.
No, I think there's just like clothing. And that's where
Yeah, it was
Rascal
like a whole room of clothing where those who would go to ascend would strip their body, in which insight check for everybody right now, since this is becoming a topic.
Are we talking about molting?
There's a lot of things, Reno. Insight check. On a player perspective, there's a lot that we get, but on a character perspective,
We all rolled terribly, except for maybe Sigurd.
I hold in my puke this time.
okay, so I'm gonna throw you guys bones. This is a temple of ascension. Many people have attempted to ascend. There are bodies, there are bones, there are multiple things. But if there's a well in the center in which something is coming from, where do you think those who attempted to ascend would go, and why do you think they would strip themselves if they no longer needed it to go? I mean, I felt like I painted a very big picture, and it's not being captured. And now I need to give you guys like a paint by number or line by number to get the whole image. But I'm not mad at you guys. I'm just like loving
I mean,
the little. I guess it was tough, but I felt like the play by post. I gave way more details into what was happening because I had to be more descriptive and give you guys more of a feel than I would have given you here in every possibility. And you guys are putting it together now. I'm hearing it. It's just not clicking. So I'm trying to figure out what I missed on the click. Like they wear clothes still. They're not just snake bodies. It's just he is one because of the spell. The Yaun-ti itself is wearing clothes on him.
Okay. Well, I can put on some clothes. But maybe what I can do too is if it's really long, we can take one of these snakes or the larger snakes and cut off its tail
Whoa.
and give ourselves some snake bottoms.
You
I
guys gonna do like
mean,
I just saw like a Space Channel 5, or is it 9 or 5? I can't remember. It's like it was like a Dreamcast game, and it was like up, up, down, down, left, left, right, right, and you were like doing some stupid dancing with aliens basically. And I just imagine you guys shaking your tails.
Yeah, what if we just killed some of the snakes and used them as tails and just dressed up in those clothes?
are they big enough? I mean, Big D is rather big.
Right. You're already cutting a tail. You could just stuff it after, but you know, DMs mindset.
So the ascending ones are all Yaun-ti.
Yes, they're all Yaun-tis.
Like, what do you mean by that term? As in those who attempt to ascend, or those who
Yeah,
ascend?
all
I mean, it's a
Well,
Yaun-ti cultural. Yeah, it's a Yaun-ti tradition. It is not something that an elf would just come over here and try to do. But Phineas found a room in which
yes, I was
a
just
note.
about to
Go ahead.
say.
I'll allow you.
Uh, that's not necessarily the case. As I mean, look at my splendid body. There was definitely some crazy guy who came in here and tried to ascend, and he was definitely not a Yaun-ti.
So that's a new variable.
Oh. Did he try to use your polymorph juice, maybe?
I believe he did. Yes. I mean, that's the discussion and arguments that me and Mrs. Lady over here got into an argument over, and that's how I became what you see before you.
Oof. All right, but the polymorph juice is not a possibility right now because it's in your.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's currently in my left liver. My right one, I'm not quite sure.
How many do you have?
I got three.
Will you still live with just two?
I think so.
Hey, Big G, can you find out which liver it's in? Never mind. He he he.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Um. And also, like, we're just fighting the ascending spirits.
Well, going back to Reno's thought, he actually sparked a pretty good idea in my mind. Reno, you said you could disguise yourself, and we have those clothes that smell like Yaun-ti. What if you we waited for this potion to wear off? I distribute the other three between me, Big G, and Sigurd. You disguise yourself as a Yaun-ti and dress up in their clothes, so we all look and smell like them at least. That will at least buy us some time to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Sure, sounds good. Let's do that.
So that provides Sigurd. Oh, well, he's typing, right? Or he's still present, chatting in the chat.
No, I don't.
I know. I haven't heard.
I think so. I think he
haven't
is.
read words of such in a minute.
Maybe you fall asleep, like.
He question marks. I fall asleep. Oh, okay, I want to be Sigurd because he couldn't figure out his mic. I think the vines were tasty, but we can use some seasoning. Perhaps in the pockets of the clothes there's salt and pepper.
Let's just go find a clothes and see what's going
Let's
on.
go.
Let's go to the room where the clothes are.
I don't know where the clothes are. I'll follow you.
Minutes pass later. You guys are all wearing assortments of disrobed fittings. All smelly and stinky, but you are. Ta-da!
Yay. Okay.
Big G, can you kill a few snakes and take the tails?
Yeah, I mean, what are the bigger snakes? Are they like they're not friendly to us. They're just kind of indifferent.
Yeah, they're just indifferent. Yeah, I mean, I can't promise that attacking one isn't going to mean it's not going to attack back, but they are indifferent.
Yeah, but if I attack one, will all of them attack?
I mean, probably.
If you attack one, I mean, there's I mean, I don't know all of them. I'll have to
Yeah.
ask. I'll be like, hey, how do you feel about your cousin dying? And then it's kind of like a whole interview process. So the more you kill, the more I got to talk to.
Yeah. Gotcha. So we're gonna find a room with the least amount of
This one has
and
one brother. Here we go.
slaughter them. Okay, we're gonna just cut off their freaking heads.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, easy enough. It seems after killing 3, 4, 5, just the fun, they're indifferent to even each other. They don't seem to be biased in any way. It's more or less the being that comes can use their senses.
Oh.
All right.
Oh. Okay, so
Yeah.
then kill everyone then.
But
So they
Big G doesn't get that, more so as Big G thinks they stupid too.
yeah.
So you could keep killing, but you don't think like I'm doing it with purpose. You're just this is fun.
Yeah. And snake are delicious. So they
Especially them
Inventory
purple,
increase.
especially them purple violet snakes.
mm, yeah, how many could I kill?
I don't know. I mean, do you want it? I mean, really, the ritual doesn't happen until you guys say, "Hey, let's bound this shit together and toss it in." Like, you guys have not done any offering, not bullshit, no ritual, no nothing, and you guys are over here like, "How much time do I have?" And I told you, you're in here until you die, run out of rations, or get this done. So
Okay.
you tell
Hey,
me, what are you doing?
you know, before we start doing, anything too rash, most of us are out of spell slots. Maybe we should rest.
I'm down for that.
I won't remind you all that there was a spider army assaulting this structure.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
We found it for you?
Huh?
Okay.
Sorry, I
Alright.
didn't hear any of
So
that over my cough.
we kill all the snakes.
Big G goes about killing snakes. Oddly enough, as Big G murders snakes and the blood seems to seep the stones red, the blood seeps into it and then dissipates, almost as if the stones themselves were cleaning or absorbing or consuming, and then from the well, snakes appear.
Fuck you. What? Okay.
Guys, I don't know how well these creatures can smell, but I do have a great idea of limiting them on their sight. I've got this cool little bottle that I've been keeping in my pack for quite some time, which I don't have access to it right at this moment. But if we waited, I would have this bottle that would create a 120-foot cloud of smoke. And
So
if we
you're
would,
free to type anything in the chat, and I will make sure the players hear your voice in your comments.
and none of us would be able to see through it. Is the only thing.
And
So everyone's blind.
Okay, so what I said was that I have been keeping this item in my pack for quite some time. I don't have access to it yet, but given enough time, we let this polyjuice wear out. I could limit the snakes on their sight, not their scent. There's nothing I can do about that. But I do have this little contraption that would fill the room with smoke for about 120 feet. It's just that we wouldn't be able to see through it either.
Okay. So how long is this like ascension?
I would say that once their emotions are calmed, they should be in control of themselves, and then I don't know what happens. I just agreed to ravel in the power of my friend. There is no text on what the Ascended do, but go beyond to do other things.
Then why are they fighting us? My God. Okay.
Because you are in a Yaun-ti temple as a non-Yaun-ti, as there are spiders outside our temple trying to taint our ways and culture.
How
Why
about
would you attack your non-resident neighbors? What are you?
I am a uh and it's Big G kind of think.
They look at you and just like they're just paused with you, like like what? Like they honestly don't know what you are. They've never seen one.
Yeah, Big G also doesn't know what he is. He just like I'm a giant.
And giants are not merciless. They don't murder what they see.
We eat a lot.
You killed just many of that in which some call our kins. And you do not consider my feelings? You are just as useless as this one. As she looks over to Phineas.
I was just
You guys are just super insulted.
yeah. I mean, he was hungry. Okay, so wait, did they leave all leave behind bodies of snakes?
Well, I mean, what would you have done with them?
He's asking Sigurd to cook for him. The snakes.
So you would have piled them somewhere for Sigurd to cook, right? Like they'd still be visible somewhere. There's a pile somewhere for them to point out. Right there, the one on the fire insulting me further as you guys are ready to eat them as more come out for you to just enjoy. As I'm a Yaun-ti myself.
So we can
in the
let
Temple of Ascension.
meta. It's not Big G. Big G would not say this, but what if we let the spider come in and we start a ritual and then they can fight each other?
That would be a wonderful concept, though anyone still spider would be threat to spider, and then the more would come in. If we were able to fend off the majority of the non-threatening spiders and kept the focus of the Ascended against them, and they defeated a purpose of the Ascension has always been to beat the opposition. And this is why they have always assaulted the tower when the Ascension occurs. The spiders have always succeeded in defeating or preventing the Ascension. It all makes sense. It's like for the first time in history, everything she's ever read or been raised hearing isn't bullshit. And you guys just solved a big puzzle in the Yaun-ti culture.
Damn. Okay. Well, good job, you.
But then the rest of you also have to face the problem of if they've been succeeding this whole time, who's to think that the Yaun-ti could win? Reno's like, yeah, this is boring.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to bring the spiders in because they obviously stopped the rituals before, so I mean, they're probably definitely going to stop the rituals again.
Okay, so I guess we just wait for Phineas Polyjuice to ward off, and then we do a disguise.
Yeah, we'll try the disguise method. I mean, I guess that's really the only plan we've got in our back pocket at the moment.
Okay. Well, what we'll do is we will hold it here, and we'll start right away into the exciting conflict of no longer solving puzzles, but we will consider now a short rest. You guys are free to use the Discord for the entire week to talk, discuss. Anything is live, anything is real. As you guys walk around, as long as nobody tosses in anything into the well, nothing progresses until next session in the sense of activity time. You guys are free to do what you want into any of the rooms just to check around and things like that. There's glimpses of information you guys can get for historical purposes, but there will be no more items in which you can acquire as you have missed those opportunities. Anything I need to clarify?
Nope.
Nope.
Alrighty. With that, because I don't know, 1 second. Let me discuss publicly with the individual in which who has been criticizing my very hard work. Big G, would you say we are close to needing some testers to figure out what I'm missing, or not yet?
Wait, you mean the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think it's almost ready for others to try to mess up or bring into consideration as I'm hitting a wall of creativity? Unless you have some great ideas, you just haven't had the time to discuss.
I have not had the time to even look at the.
You don't even know what. Yeah, you just see the
Yeah.
updates and you're like, I hope it works.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so I was planning on trying it tonight if there's no game, but
Yeah,
I guess it'd
yeah.
be later. But
So what we'll do is until you get a chance to check it out, because I do want your personal opinion. I'm also throwing in a bunch of stuff. It's not immediate, but I do want to get some. I feel like I'm getting to the point where it's a perfect loop, but I do need people to get in there to give the suggestive, oh, this would be fun, or it'd be neat, and then they see it and are like, God damn it, I regret it, but I love it, kind of thing. So that's at least just my mindset, because you've seen all my ideas fly by.